visitorship from your experiences. So there's no question you've got a collection of attractive outdoor experiences. That's evident in the work we've done already. You've also got a very attractive and interesting group of core attractors, things that are already driving people to the destination. And one thing in particular that's unique, which sets you apart, and that's this rocks and minerals thing. That is something unique to the destination. You can hang your hat on that. You've developed that to a certain extent. Is there more opportunity? That is, among a lot of other destinations, they don't have anything as unique as that. You do have critical acclaim on a number of fronts. So there's a number of things where you're best in class, where you are getting written up in publications, where you are featured in certain marketing material and what have you. Another great thing is you do have a tourism market. You've got a market to draw from. You know, over 5 million people within a 4-hour drive of the destination. So it's not like you're out in the middle of nowhere. You're trying to bring people hours and hours to your destination. You have a tourism market all around you, whether it be Toronto, Ottawa, Peterborough, different population areas, but you've got a significant tourism market. You're already attracting 1.6 million visitors to the destination. That's not too shabby. And can there be more? Yes. 856,000 of those visitors are staying overnight. Now we'll get into that particular figure in a minute. They're not all staying in paid commercial accommodations, but a good percentage of the people who are currently coming, this is 2007 data, are currently coming or staying overnight, which is great. Let's talk about our survey. Yep.
Do you have an anticipation that the increase in tourism will generate a 50%? You've got 50% staying overnight compared to the total tourism. Do you think that will increase as the tourism level increases?
Well, it depends what we do. Do we develop our destination as a day trip destination, or do we develop our destination so that people do stay a multiple of nights? My suggestion, if asked, would be no. We want to create experiences and opportunities to get people to stay at least one night or more than one night. And you have a collection of experiences that warrant that. Just a quick snapshot of where we got surveys from and which sectors. I was pleased with the overall response of 61%. That's very good. That's among the top response rate. But one thing I want to say about the survey, this is not a statistically sound survey. And I don't even use the word survey. That's why we call it an audit. We send it out and people send it back in. It's not like we're relying 100% on this survey data or this audit data. Because if your neighbor who's in the same business as you are did not complete the survey, that doesn't mean we didn't count them. We still know about them. That's what the team's been doing. So we sent out 336 surveys, 204 came back. Well, it doesn't mean we don't understand what the balance, what their experiences are. So the team goes on websites, they look at publications, they find out as much as they can about all of the tourism businesses in order that we complete the audit. The survey is just one dimension of the audit, but 61% is very acceptable. A couple of interesting things. Your retail, the retailers really got on board with this for some reason. That's a very, very high rate of return from the retail sector. The agritourism sector, very high. First of all, yeah, it is pretty high in terms of response rate, 33%, because it tends to be smaller operations. Attractions, festival accommodations, we've got a very good, which is typical, 80% response rate. Those are the people in the business. If they don't send the survey back, who's going to? Food and beverage is okay as well. We didn't have a lot of businesses in the food and beverage sector, which was surprising, but again, good response rate. So I'm pleased with the response rate. There's some surveys still trickling in, but I'm happy with that. We've got please understand the difference between here and here. We find out about all of those businesses as much as we can when we complete the audit. Okay? Okay. Let me just give you some quick snapshots about the survey. Not about the complete audit, just to give you a sense, because you completed it, you answered the questions, just gives you a top line review. The majority of the businesses who returned a survey derive more than 20% of their business from visitors from outside the county. So that's a real visitor, they're coming in from outside. The majority of the businesses are drawing those visitors from what we would call the local market, so maybe within 80 kilometers or 100 kilometers, or a regional market, a broader market. So a largest percentage, that's where they're getting their business. Of all the people who returned the survey, prices have remained flat. They haven't gone down, they've remained flat, but they also haven't gone up. So the majority said that their prices have remained the same. They also said, however, that business has decreased in the last 3 years. Not a surprise. It's decreased everywhere. So that's not the case. At this point, when we look across the country, a lot, whether it be the majority, but there is a significant amount of businesses where prices have dropped in order for businesses just to compete. The majority of businesses in the tourism sector aren't doing any customer service training. So we're hiring people, putting them out there, servicing guests, but we're not doing any formal training to equip them to be the best they can be. When we talked about the labor pool, survey responses say that yes, we do have a sufficient labor pool. That's contrary to what's happening across the country, because across the country we've identified a significant need in being able to find the right people to do the right jobs in the tourism sector. But here, for one reason, same in Peterborough County, there was determined among the people we talked to in the survey to be a sufficient labor pool. That may or may not be the case in the work you're doing. In Peterborough County, they're also spending, and Northumberland County, a lot of effort focusing on labor force development. So even though the responses in the tourism industry said that there's a sufficient labor pool, the county is thinking otherwise, and that may be the case here. Okay, so that's really a quick overview, because again, it's not statistically sound. I don't go into all the details. Begin to get into the meat of what we're beginning to determine through the work. I talked about attractors, the reasons why people are currently coming to the destination. We have identified a series of core attractors and a series of supporting attractors. And this is derived from visitation levels. Why are people currently coming? And what the team does is the best job they can to quantify that in terms of the experiences. It could be one particular thing that's driving huge visitation. So Canada's Wonderland, when I did the work in York Region, that was a demand generator. Could not argue that over 2 million people come to Canada's Wonderland in a 5-month season. They were a demand generator in the scheme of things. It was one thing, one facility. It was the main reason why a huge number of people came to the York Region when we did the work. But it also can be a cluster of activities. A number of things could actually constitute a core attractor. It is the motivator for the trip. If you asked, why did you come to Hastings County? I came because I wanted to do this. In Peterborough, the Havelock Country Jamboree was a demand generator. Again, because for the week it's there, whatever it is, 10 days, significant number of people compared to all of the other things. When we talk about supporting attractors, it's very, very important to the destination, but it may not be the primary reason. It may be they do it as well as something else that got them there. They're not less important, it's just fact. It just, the numbers that we get begin to point